One book every business leader should read.
It's a book called Never Split Difference. It's written by a gentleman called Chris Voss. He's an ex-FBI hostage negotiator.
Neuroscience meets business. Is it as sci-fi as it sounds, or is just smart strategy?
It's not science fiction. It's real hard science. So when we define strategies for our clients, we help them make things simple, enjoyable, memorable for their customers, not just in the cliched Disney experience way or deliver pizza in 40-foot snow way, not just in those cliched stories, but in day-to-day life.
Hello everyone, welcome to Leader Story episode. Ever wonder what's really going on in your customer's head? We have, and today we are talking to Dipti, the brainiac between Terragni Consulting, who's decoding the secrets of consumer behavior. Get ready for some mind-blowing insights. Hey Dipti, how have you been?
Lovely. Good afternoon, Neha. Pleasure to connect with you. And yes, life's good. Can't complain.
Oh, okay. All right, Leader Story welcomes you. Let's get started. Neuroscience meets business. Is it as sci-fi as it sounds, or is just smart strategy?
It is sci-fi, but it's not science fiction. It is real hard science. When we look at neuroscience, neuroscience as such is a very vast field. And I could actually spend the rest of the day talking to you about what all different things are possible when you think of neuroscience and business. But we at Terragni take a very, very focused lens. We seek to understand, explain, and impact exhibited behavior, not stated intent, right? And this is where neuroscience plays a very, very key role for us. When we go to work, at core, we are really trying to influence, impact, shift somebody's behavior. It could be your customer, it could be your colleague, it could be a partner. You know, at the core of a business outcome lies a behavior shift, right? An exhibited behavior has to change. You are an e-commerce player, you are struggling with abandoned carts. That's an exhibited behavior. Customer is abandoning their carts with you. You want that exhibited behavior to change. You don't want just the stated intent to change, right? Of course, the stated intent has to be positive, but just that much changing is not really going to do much for your business. You want the actual carts to start to get checked out. You don't want them abandoned. And this is where we use neuroscience to help us define strategies for our clients. So when we define strategies for our clients, we help them make things simple, enjoyable, memorable for their customers, not just in the cliched Disney experience way or deliver pizza in 40-foot snow way, not just in those cliched stories, but in day-to-day life.
Ease and Magic Box sounds intriguing. So, what's the one thing these platforms do that blows clients' minds?
Some of the most beautiful things and experiences have one very interesting thing which is common at their core, and that is simplicity. And when we think about ease, when we think about our offerings that we take to our clients, this is the core principle that we keep in mind. So, at the very core of human behavior, of human happiness, lie two very straightforward concepts: friction and motivation. Anything that adds friction to a particular behavior, any behavior that has high friction, that is not going to happen. You think of having to get up in the morning and go for a morning walk. If you're not a morning person, try doing it consistently for 3 days. It's not going to happen. Why? The biggest friction for you is you cannot sleep early in the night the previous day, so you're not going to be able to get up in the morning. I mean, one day, 2 day, you will be hugely motivated. Third day, you'll be tired and you will not be able to do it. So there's friction. So the magic box looks at this mix of magic. How do I make things simple? What motivators do I put in, which are not to do with price, but to do with how do I make your life better by being a part of
Okay. You are pioneers of consumer neuroscience in India. So, what's the
it.
biggest aha moment when you had applying brain science to business?
So the biggest aha moment is that if a business needs to address a strategic objective, relying on one method of input is not going to help. You have to have a a toolkit with you, a set of tools that help you you know define what your problem really is and therefore what the solution. When you go to a really good doctor, let's say there's a patient, they have a knee problem, their knee hurts. Okay. The first thing that the doctor does is prescribes a set of tests, diagnosis, right? The doctor wants
Mm.
insights. But when the doctor is kind of, looking at your knee, they're trying they're trying to get an initial judgment of where the problem really is. They're asking you a set of questions. Does it hurt to do this? Does it hurt to do that? Does it hurt when you climb stairs, when you run? Is it hurting all the time? When does it hurt more? When does it hurt less? What is he trying to establish? The doctor is trying to establish, is this a muscular issue or a bone issue, right?
Mm.
If it's a bone issue, then I need diagnosis instruments that will help me understand the bones. So I'm going to look at an X-ray. If it's a muscle issue, then an X-ray is not going to help. I probably need an MRI,
Mm.
right? So it's not just enough to have all the tools in your kitty. It's also necessary to have the expertise to know which tool to use for what kind of insight, right?
Mm.
And this is
Mm.
where the entire methodology of sense making comes together. The ability to understand the context in which a customer is behaving, then the ability to figure out which will be the leading tool in this case, which will be the supporting actors, and then going after the insight, then understanding why the consumer behaves the way they do, and then bringing that why alive. It's not just enough for me to explain to my client that, okay, fine, your consumers are abandoning carts. These are the 4 reasons why. No, I need to also help them fix those 4 reasons in the best possible way in which they can fix it. Right. So this ability that we've developed and refined over the last 15 plus years is what is our real aha moment when we work with businesses.
Wonderful. Good analogy. Like for a layman like me to understand and for our viewers also. All right, Deepti. Now our next section is Mind of a Leader.
Mhm.
Engineer and evolutionary biologist. That's a unique combo. How does that shape your approach to leadership and business?
When I started studying engineering and I was going through those, huge tomes of textbooks, I used to wonder, they're teaching us all this theory and, they make us burn the midnight oil and so many assignments and numericals and so much rigor. We are working 24/7. Where is this going to be useful? I mean, none of this gets applied. I have never seen any of my parents use this. I've never seen any of my seniors use this. They're going to go join a software company and code. Who's going to use this theory of thermodynamics, or Gauss's
Mm.
equation and all of those things? But today, when I think back, I realize that those 4 years of absolute rigor and grueling schedules is something that gave me a huge amount of structure in the way I approach, whether it's work for my clients or whether it's decision making or the way we run Terragni here. It has given us a huge amount of structure. The aspect of evolutionary biology is interesting because, as I mentioned right at the beginning, our work is in the area of impacting exhibited behavior. Right now,
Mm.
let me give you an interesting nugget. The human brain has not changed in the last 50,000 odd years in terms of how it functions. right? I mean, as corporates and organizations, we love to talk about how Gen Z is different from the millennials and Gen Y and
Right.
Gen X. But really, at the core, the brain, the way it works, the way it decides what it fears, what it likes, and why it does so has not changed. As human beings, we are more motivated by fear as opposed to happiness. We are more motivated by knowing we are safe as opposed to luxury. Understanding what emotion drives the human being and why. There's a very interesting saying: if you know where you're coming from, right, you will never have to worry about where you are headed.
Mm.
And this is something that personally I really, really believe in. It allows you to have tremendous level of clarity in terms of where you want to go, and therefore then you don't need to be worried about it. So that is the evolutionary biology component that ties in to these hard sciences, to the rigor, to the structure that we bring in to our work.
Fair enough. So this brings us to our last section, which is rapid fire. So I'm going to quickly do this. My first question: our biggest pet peeve in the consulting world.
Unfortunately, today the consulting industry is plagued by a little bit of that phenomena where anybody who has 20, 25 years of experience in a particular field, um, they believe they can be a good consultant. And they just want to start telling other people how to do their business.
One book every business leader should read.
It's a book called Never Split the Difference. It's written by a gentleman called Chris Voss. He's an ex FBI hostage negotiator.
If Terragni was a superhero, what
Wow.
would its superpower be?
Our superpower would be our ability to understand the why in any situation. And then, like I said earlier, bringing that why alive to deliver an outcome from that situation that is beneficial to hopefully all parties involved.
Wonderful. Thank you so very much, Dipti, for illuminating the fascinating world of consumer neuroscience to us.
My pleasure, Neha. It's been lovely speaking with you. Thank you so much.